أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا.
I am here today for a very, very important and a very close to my heart topic. Every Friday, I've always wondered, I'm sure a lot of you will also wonder, why do we have to recite Surah Kahf? It's one of the rituals, I would say, that we do, because we do it as a ritual. We don't do it with the understanding. At least I was not doing it for a long time. So today I am lucky enough to have with me Col.Ashfaq. You've seen him in a lot of my other podcasts as well. We did the Ramadan 2024 Baithak recently, which you all, alhamdulillah, liked. Col.Ashfaq is the author of this book, Surah Kahf. I'll say the name in Urdu first. Daure Fitan mein Nurani Qibla Numa. So in this, times, I would say, of fitna and all the turbulence and whatever you want to call it, this is the surah which is going to show us the direct direction towards the qibla, the direction which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to go. So Col.Ashfaq, of course, he's a civil engineer by profession, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed him to write this book, and I'm going to show you once again, which has actually been a very, very different type of writing. By the way, welcome, Colonel sir.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah.
And before I enter and start the discussion with Colonel Sahab, I would like to quote Umar Raziallah, and I'm quoting it from Colonel Ashfaq's book. He says, "I fear that day when non-believers will take pride in their faith of non-believing, and Muslims will feel ashamed of their own faith and their iman." Allahu Akbar. So I was wondering, why did he say that 1400 years ago? And then Colonel Sahab's book tells me this hadith from Kanzul Umal. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "How will you be when your women will go rogue, or I would say, commanding? Let me use a simple word, sir. I think that is probably an easy word. Commanding or overpowering you.
Okay.
Right? And your youth will actually transgress. They will take pride, probably. I don't know how I can put a better word to it, in doing wrong things, and they will not admit they are doing wrong. Okay, and you will leave, will quit, will avoid jihad. Okay, so Sahaba Razillah Anhuma asked, "Ya Rasulullah, is this how it will happen?" And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Yes, by the God who owns my life, this is exactly how it will happen, but it will even go worse." And what is worse? When you will stop doing good deeds, and you will not invite people for doing good, and you will not stop people from doing evil, and you will actually avoid going and telling people that you're doing wrong. So Sahaba again asked, "Ya Rasulullah, is this how it will happen?" Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Yes, and it will even go worse. By God it will happen, and it will even go worse. And that would be when you will stop accepting sin as a sin, and you will think that doing good is actually a sin. So good will become bad, and bad will become good." Allahu Akbar. Khalsab, we'll come back to this hadith and Umar's Razilan's point. But the thing that I started in the beginning, and that is my question. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of 114 surahs in Quran, has, or Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has told us to recite Surah Kahf? Is it only about lip recitation? Is it only about reading stories? Or there is something deeper to it?
Thank you very much for detailed introduction and narration from my book, which is in Urdu. And it becomes difficult to translate verbatim.
Yeah, I can vouch for it. It's very tough Urdu.
Yes. So, very good question, very pertinent question. And normally we don't dig deeper into the details, what it is said and why it is said. So, very good question. And in the beginning, I would thank you, as well as to the Free Quran Education Center, which have made this possible for us to discuss on this book, on this surah, which is very important in this era of tribulations. This era, which is also called Dore Fitan, era of portents, tribulations. So in this era, Nabi Akhir Zaman, the last prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has guided us through all the eras, may it be good one or bad one, hard one or soft one. So all types of the guidance have been given by the last prophet. That is why he is a living prophet. And this Quran, the Magnificent, is also a living book.
It's a dynamic book, actually.
Yes.
The other day we
It
heard
is.
this from one of your friends.
Yes.
I loved the sentence.
Yes,
He said,
it is.
Quran is the most dynamic book.
Yes, it is a living book. It provides the living guidance for all types of the challenges which are there in our lives.
Absolutely.
So the first thing, why this surah out of 114 is guided by the Prophet ﷺ to be read and recited every Friday. Why?
And why also on Friday only?
Yes.
That is also another point we can add, I think.
Friday is the head of, or the chief of all the days.
King of the days.
Yes, as told by the Prophet ﷺ. So if anything comes to the chief, that means it is relevant for the rest of the masses, for rest of the people as well. So this is how we have been guided to recite this Surah Mubarakah on every Friday, so as its effects. And those effects are two types of effects. One is protection. It provides us protection for the entire week.
Absolutely.
And next Friday you again recite, and you are safeguarded against all the evils which could come to you if you are not protected. So it gives us the protection, one. And the second thing, it gives us the light. Both things, we need guidance all the times, through all walks of life, through all the challenges which we have. So these two things are provided by this Surah Mubarakah, which is Surah Al-Kahf, and it occurs right in the center of Quran,
Quran,
the
that's
Magnificent,
right.
which is not accidental.
which is-
As I always say, that there are no accidents.
The center word of Quran is Wal Yatalattaf.
Yes, Wal Yatalattaf, that is also there in the Surah Mubarakah. So this is the thing. And one thing more I would like to add over here. Is this the only Surah Mubarakah which can guide through the era of tribulation? No.
Of course not.
It is not. It is not. This is the first thing. This is the gateway. If you want to open and go into any of the houses, you open the gate first, and then you enter into the corridors and other rooms. So if you want to pass through this era of tribulations and successfully, if you want to proceed, so proceed through Surah Al-Kahf.
And Kausar, I think if you, maybe I'm over exaggerating it, but you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I think this surah, as you mentioned, light and protection, because from the times of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Sahaba used to say, the doomsday is there, Qiyamah is coming, right? So this is my perception, that because this surah actually tells us a lot about the end times.
Yes.
So every week it actually prepares us to be able to, if the end time is coming, Saturday is the end day, So we are ready to face that day. Am I
Yes,
right?
this is also good. A very pertinent thing. And once it is like battery charging of your
Yeah.
mobile.
Absolutely.
Once you charge it, all the apps can be used very efficiently. And if you are charged on every Friday, then all your faculties, all your abilities can be unleashed throughout the week successfully and
Absolutely.
safely.
Absolutely.